Mere mortals don't know what Biafra restoration is all about, Nnamdi Kanu claims. The day our people get to know about what Nnamdi Kanu did to ruin, hijack, and derail the network of grassroots structures LNC established between the 2009 inaugural proclamation of the LNC in Warri and 2013, when heinous falsehoods were massively disseminated against the LNC by Nnamdi Kanu to the same masses, who quietly, as requested by the LNC, but happily received the grand liberation gospel of the LNC in Ochanja, Ariaria, Ogbete, Ogbe, Ogonogo, etc. everywhere between Bonny and Abakaliki. They will have nowhere to hide on the face of the earth from the wrath and fury of the Igbo. There is one more step left in the LNC project process for us to return to that discussion. In order to manage the fallout from that sordid episode, today, like many other falsehoods, the impression is that the LNC is not on ground in the homeland. To give us an indication of the depth of treachery, wickedness, and desperation at play, Nnamdi Kanu took maximum advantage of things I discussed with him in absolute confidence, relating to the strategies by which the LNC operations had, up to that point, evaded even the best surveillance of the Caliphate and their British sponsors. I had been completely open to Nnamdi Kanu in that meeting because it was Admiral Godwin Ndubisi Kanu who had been rock solid in the LNC design from the beginning of its overt phase, and who had also mediated in my relationship with Ralph Uwazurike when Uwazurike derailed, that set up that meeting. And so I took it for granted that I was in the company of a compatriot. This was a most tragic misplacement of trust, and the destiny of 70 million people had to hang in the balance in the 6 year that followed until the mercy of God prevailed. Even Wales completely rejected the 8-point strategy of LNC as tabled in that 2013 meeting. Nnamdi Kanu took the sensitive LNC project materials I shared with him at the meeting and systematically began to graft them into the nefarious Biafran franchise enterprise he clear-mindedly set out for from the onset, as would manifest later. Not only were the materials put to negative use in advancement of a criminal enterprise that fed on the blood, misery, and ignorance of our people, Nnamdi Kanu actually pushed very hard with false propaganda and calumnies to force the LNC to blow its cover in the homeland, in the hope that when that happens, the Caliphate will swoop in on the LNC, and so his criminal enterprise of rogue Biafra franchise operated from the safety of the UK will blossom unchallenged. Unfortunately for Nnamdi Kanu, Providence forced him to make a stop in Nigeria in 2015, where he came face to face with some of the consequences of his lies, as it was the same Tony Nnadi who was working for the Caliphate's enemy that had to extricate him from the pit of treason. It might interest us to learn that the first time the IPOP foot soldiers in Nigeria learned exactly what the LNC was actually doing was at an interview session I had with the media at the Federal High Court, Abuja, as we battled the treason charges against Nnamdi and his IPOP co-accused, when in between a 3 hours adjournment, the large returnee of journalists who had not seen me in Abuja for a while insisted on having an interview with me while we awaited the DSS production of the accused person to court. The LNC materials collected by those shocked IPOB foot soldiers from that impromptu interview session were later sent by courier to the collegiate leadership of the IPOB in Europe. The receipt of those LNC documents by the rest of the IPOB leadership became also the first time they were seeing exactly what the LNC was doing. Contrary to the lies Nnamdi Kanu had fed to them, the genuine elements amongst them immediately saw the futility of all they were doing in the name of Biafran restoration, and so went to work to try to get Nnamdi Kanu to retrace his steps and embrace the 8-point strategy of the LNC, which he rejected wholesale in 2013. It was that attempt to save the liberation project from the deadly mercantile malfeasance of Nnamdi Kanu that led to the staccato of suspensions and expulsion in 2017 of all the more honest members of the IPOB collegiate leadership of the time. DOS, they called it, including Dr. Clifford Irwanya. Nnamdi, from that point, assumed the title of Supreme Leader, having expelled those who actually built the IPOB, and in the characteristics treachery, he labeled them saboteurs and falsely accused them of all manners of crimes, including attempting to overthrow him while he was incarcerated, particularly Dr. Clifford Irwanya, who actually did the most difficult mediation to try to get me to forgive the heinous deeds of Nnamdi Kanu for the sake of the liberation project. Everything else you are told about what went wrong with the IPOB collegiate leadership is false as far as the immediate cause of the said suspension and expulsions. I was in the middle of what transpired, and their offense was that they tried to get Nnamdi Kanu to keep to an accord reached about adopting the viable route map to freedom. This is the reason I set the two preconditions for any kind of meeting with the leadership of Biafran restoration, bandwagon, namely the prior production of a roadmap or wholesale adoption of the LNC roadmap. That only Dr. Clifford Irwanya will bring the leadership of the Biafran restoration commotion to any so-called unity meeting with me and the LNC. This is the only way to get to the truth of the matter, going by the antecedent of the merchant of lies. It was in furtherance of the overall game plan of getting the obstacle called the LNC out of the way of the rogue Biafra franchise that Nnamdi Kanu crafted the deliberate falsehood that the LNC was working for the emergence of a new Nigeria, sustenance of one Nigeria, even when I confided in him in that 2013 meeting that the LNC multi-regional alliance outreach to the rest of the South and Middle Belt, the MNN, that is, Movement for New Nigeria, was in reality a movement for no Nigeria, and that the name and mechanisms would keep the enemy running in the opposition direction. Thank you for listening to this news. Well, it has been said, it has happened. What I will say is that the question is, with this story, with all this lengthy story, what do you actually want to achieve from this? Do you want Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB members to join the LNC, or what are you trying to say? You fail to tell us the lies that Nnamdi Kanu said about you. You fail to tell us what the truth is. You fail to tell us how we are going to get Biafra through your own strategy. You see, you failed. Meaning that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never told any lies about you. You failed woefully. Believe you me, all of these things you are saying is actually propaganda against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All of these things are what even rap Wazirike tried to do. If you know how many people that have lost their lives in this struggle for freedom, you will not come here to be saying all of these things that you are saying. Let me tell all of you who are going about looking for a way to get money from wherever or whoever you're playing with your lives, and what of your generation. Join hands with Nnamdi Kanu to move this mountain. Join hands with Nnamdi Kanu to achieve this Biafran struggle. Rub mind with him. Where you see him not doing well, bring in your good ideas. If have any, bring it to him. He is the welcoming type. Somebody must lead and some people must follow. I don't know for us. So viewers, what is your take on this news? Please don't forget to leave your comment behind. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to receive more updates. Thank you.